the cats have redesigned my yoga room. So I've got a little bit of fixing to do. They've broken some things and sorry. I should have done the YouTube camera first. But I didn't. So here we are. Not too bad. All right, so you can't see it. I have cat toys and 2 cats in the window and 1 cat behind there. So we're fostering for a month until they can be fixed. And if they get sweet before then, well, by then, we'll be able to find them a home. Otherwise, they have to go back to where they came because they can't live here. My house is full. 9 animals in my house right now. It's a lot. It's a lot. I'm not cut out for this fostering thing. But, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? So, with all of this chaos, I've been off of my routine, clearly. Hopefully you've been practicing without me, either with other videos or just on your own or with other instructors, hopefully in person every now and again, because it's just nice to be with people, right? Practicing, not always, sometimes you just want to do your own thing and go your own way, but it's nice to have the energy and the vibe as well. So, anyway, just a little gentle stretch this morning, nothing crazy. I don't really have a direction in my mind, just kind of getting back into the routine of practicing every day, except Sundays. I don't practice on Sundays. Anyway, so come on over and have a seat. These are cracking seats. Can't see that far, but good morning. I think it's Ty probably. So yeah, just listen to your body, and if you need something a little bit more intense, make it more intense, right? If you just want to chill with me to get back in the groove, that works too. All right. So let's start with the heels aligned. Make sure you have comfortable seats. Obviously, prop if you need to prop in anyway, and that includes like underneath your knees if it feels uncomfortable because they don't drop far enough, or whatever you think is enough, right? You can prop up underneath the knees as well. So think pelvic floor up, lower belly in and up, sitting extra tall through the sides. Relax your shoulders, go ahead and close your eyes. And then aligning the bottom tips of the ears back to the shoulders. It might feel like back, it might not. Crown of the head reaching to the ceiling. And then just being here for a moment, kind of getting into that yoga vibe. Finding your breath. Gradually allowing that breath to expand into whatever your yoga breath looks like. If you want Ujjayi, of course, making it a little bit noisy in the back of your throat there, feel free to add that. Otherwise, just a little deeper, maybe more even than your natural breath. Into the belly. Remember, we breathe into the belly, not the chest. Not just the chest. And that alone should kind of bring you into that headspace, right? We'll begin to add movement in here, so extending the arms out to the sides. With the next inhale, stretch into the ceiling. And then exhale, bring them back down. Again. One more time. We'll go back to the top. Exhaling the right hand back to the mat, tipping gently to that side. Give the left side a long, big stretch. Reach through the fingertips. And then come on back to center. Exhale the left hand. Stretching through the right side. Come on back to the middle. And over to the right again. Taking a bigger stretch this time, if you're ready. Back to center. And then over to the left. One more time. Inhaling back to the middle. And then exhaling to release. Let's go ahead and take the right hand over to the left knee, left hand behind the back. Baby twist to the left. Sitting nice and tall, even on your pelvis. Just a gentle little stretch, maybe noticing where is more flexible or looser than the rest. And then releasing that back through the middle and over to the second side. Same idea, just an easy, gentle twist. Going back to the center. Let's take this one a little deeper. So the right hand back to the left knee, left hand behind the back, right? Right behind your bottom there. Press into the floor so it's extra tall. And then rotating around, think belly button, side ribs, shoulder, maybe face. And I say face rather than head because a lot of times we tilt the head. So keeping the head in this neutral position, just imagine turning your whole face. A little spinal adjustment there. One more nice big breath here. And then we're going to slowly unwind that side and take the second side. So positioning your hands wherever works best, right? It doesn't have to be your knee. Right? You can prop with a block on behind if that's what you need. But see about rotating around as evenly as you can up through the spine. And then releasing that side back to center. So let's go ahead and take the fingers and interlace them behind the lower back. Pull the shoulder blades together on the back and then stretch the knuckles away. To the floor and not to the floor, wherever. Right? Hinging forward from the hip here. Big belly button to heels. Right? Keep pulling the shoulder blades together, stretching the knuckles away. You just let the weight of the upper body fall forward. Keeping the head in line with the spine. And another nice big breath. Inhaling as we hinge back up. Before you release your fingers, think about which thumb is on top back there. Switching which foot is in front. Still aligning the heels as much as you can. It may change it. from the norm. Reinterlacing the fingers with the other thumb on top. Shoulder blades pull toward each other, knuckles stretch away, and we hinge forward here. Let the hands lift away from the lower back, maybe. Pull the shoulder blades a little closer together. One more breath. And then hinging up here. Go ahead and release the arms. Stretch your legs out nice and long. Probably happy about that. So the legs are straight, the feet are flexed with the toes pointing at the ceiling. Still upright on the pelvis. Okay. If this is already a stretch, you're done. Otherwise, let's reach the arms up. Hinge forward from the hip. And when you can't hinge forward any further, just let the hands fall. So you might touch your toes or not. Especially at first, just ease into it wherever the stretch happens to be. And then see where you're still holding. Right? And can you let go a little bit? Shoulders pulled together on the back. Imagine leading with your chest. Take just a couple of nice big breaths. And with the next inhale, come on up again. Releasing the hands. Let's come around onto all fours. Hands and knees. Spreading the fingers nice and wide, really spread the weight out on the four corners of the hands. And then just moving in through some cat-cows here to begin. Inhale the belly toward the floor. And then exhale the spine toward the ceiling. Moving in and out of those two positions. And see if you can engage a little bit more of the spine. So as you exhale, turn the tailbone toward the floor. Spread the shoulder blades extra wide. And then as you inhale, lift your tailbone toward the ceiling and squeeze your shoulder blades together. And just invite that stretch into the entire spine. Even drop your head. And then lift it on the inhale. Taking just a few more breaths like that. Finding our middle again here. And then taking the hands about a handprint ahead of that. Let's go ahead and transition to a kneeling plank. Find four corners of the hands again here. Make sure the belly's engaged, the shoulders feel neutral on the back. Head is in line with the spine. Staying on the knees if that's you, or just lifting the knees away from the floor. And then just holding. Nothing fancy. Notice where your body stuck to tired first. Right? Maybe the hips slowly start to drop. Maybe it's the arms that start to shake like crazy, right? Just notice what's going on. Even out the work as much as you can through the body. And then we'll go ahead and transition to our down dog, lifting the hips. And just let yourself wiggle a little bit. So maybe you're just shifting back and forth from your planks to your down dogs. Maybe you're walking your heels. Maybe you're shifting through your hips. Wherever you need the stretch most. And then begin to allow yourself to settle in. So pressing through the hands. Imagine pressing your hands away from your hips. Right? They're reaching in opposite directions. And then from the hips down to the heels, also reaching in kind of opposite directions. Tons of length. We're going to lift the right leg, keeping everything else as it is. Extend through your heels. Keep pressing the chest back. Feel the extra little stretch there. Then go ahead and open up your right hip and take your toes high. Try to keep the shoulders level. Maybe bending at the knee if that's you. The right knee. Yeah. Keep the knee bent, but square the hips again. Think knee into the chest and step forward into lunge. Dropping the back knee. If your foot didn't quite make it to where you want it to be, fix it. It's fine. And then we're going to go ahead and take that right leg straight. Or straight-ish. That same idea of hinging from the hip for your fold. If you need to prop, of course, do. Flexing this right foot adds to the intensity if you need that. And then we're going to bend into the knee and let the hips come forward. So it's easy to kind of sink, maybe, and let that right knee drop open and the left hip come back. Stay as square as you can. Let's add a little twist in here. So bringing the right hand to the hip. Imagine rotating your belly button toward the inner thigh. Maybe your side ribs back, your shoulder back, just like we did when we were seated. Evenly through the spine. Let's release that twist. Take the right leg straight again. And maybe adding a little bit deeper fold here, or if you have the foot flexed back already, imagine pressing your heel down into the floor and then trying to drag it back towards your left knee-ish. And so all these tiny little tricks can kind of bump it up. And then go ahead and bend at the knee again. This time bring the right hand to the inside of the knee. Think hugging your shoulder and knee together here. Bring the left hand to the hip and rotate your belly button away from the thigh. And if you press the arm into the leg, you can get a little extra. One more big breath. Releasing the twist. Stepping yourself back to down dog. And then we're going to switch sides. So lift the left leg. Same idea, keep the hips square for a second and extend through the heels. Open the hip and bend at the knee. Keep the knee bent, square the hips up, and step that left foot forward for lunge. Dropping the back knee, adjusting your left foot if it didn't happen, right? And then take the left leg straight. So same idea on this side, starting off a little gentle, adding on as you're ready. Bend back into the knee. Let the hips sink. But again, working to keep the hips square. So imagine pulling your legs toward each other. The left hand to the hip, rotating around. Releasing the twist. Taking the leg straight again. Adding something if you're ready for that. Bending back at the knee. Bringing the left hand to the inside. Again, hugging the arm and leg into each other. Bringing the right hand to the hip and rotating away from the thigh. Release the twist and make your way back to down dog. So from down dog here, let's go ahead and shift forward back into our plank. Holding here, dropping the knees if you need. Again, thinking about the entire body working together to hold you here. When you're ready, either from the knees or not, let's go ahead and slowly drop down to the belly. As controlled as you possibly can, elbows to the sides. Maybe everything touched the floor together, maybe not quite. Hands next to the side ribs here, either way. Elbows in, and then with the breath here, on an inhale, roll your shoulders up by your ears, together on your back, down towards your hip bones, hold, and then release. So inhaling on the way up, exhaling back down. And really try to use just your back, your shoulders, rather than your arms for now. Once more like that. And then just rest for a little second. We're going to keep that idea, but we're going to add on to it. So listen to your body. If you don't want to add on, don't want to add on, and just keep rolling. Yeah. Toenails on the floor, elbows into the sides. Inhale, roll your shoulders up and hold at the top. So we're going to use our arms, but we're going to pull with our hands, like we're sweeping our hands back toward our hips, right? And that gives you some length and sometimes some lift. Feel your triceps? Go ahead and release that. Bumping it up if you're ready. Okay. Toenails on the floor, tailbone toward the floor, elbows into the sides. Inhale, roll up, add the pull, and then maybe start to press into the hands. Keep the pull so you're still feeling your triceps. Your elbows are into your waist, so the neck and head are neutral. Your shoulders aren't up on your ears. And then release it. We're going to do that one more time, and you can continue to roll. You can continue to just hold with the pull. You can press a little bit, or you can press a little more, but not quite straighten your arms. Okay? So the elbows are in, the tailbone is down. Inhale, roll, pull, press, and maybe you keep pressing until your arms are almost straight. Your shoulders are still down, away from your ears. You still got the pull, so you found lots of length. Your neck is in this nice neutral position, but we're not relying on the elbows being locked, right? Release. You can pop yourself up there and have your arms locked, your elbows, right? And that's not as much work, but you know, we're here, right? So the elbows in, we're gonna slowly press up and back into a child's pose. And then just let yourself rest here, whether you want the arms forward or back by your heels. Stretching the arms forward again. Make your way back to down dog. And from down dog, step forward and standing fold. Bring the feet up underneath your hip bones and your toes point forward. Four corners of the feet, just like we talked about, four corners of the hands. Bringing the hands up to the thighs, bring the upper body parallel-ish to the floor. Shoulders back, belly's working. Bending into the knees. Coming into chair. So hang on, right? Maybe bring the hands center, maybe extend the arms, wherever you'd like to be in this chair. Keep everything else as you have it. Come up on the toes. Stay on your toes and stretch to the ceiling. Releasing the arms and the heels. Oh, pretty well, actually. So let's go ahead and take a nice big step back with the left foot. We're going to work in through some warriors here. So right toes pointing forward, left toes cutting a bit. Right heel intersects the left instep. Bending in through the right knee, check for your big toe. Even on the feet, extending the arms for warrior two. Keep the shoulders relaxed, the weight even in the feet. Let's take the left hand to the back of the thigh, the left thigh. Reaching the right palm toward the ceiling, reach up. Dropping the right shoulder back down. Bringing the right arm alongside the ear. Try not to let your head just flop back. Just gently looking toward the ceiling. Even in the feet. You can make this little back bend a little more intense if that's you. Grabbing onto the inside of the left thigh and maybe adding a little pull. Another big breath. And back to warrior two. From here, bend your right elbow and rest down the thigh. Bring the left arm alongside the ear. Lean on the leg if you feel like you need to. We still like the weight to be nice and even in the feet. We'd like it to be. Taking the right leg straight and transitioning into triangle. The body is still open to the side, not the floor. And then let's bring that left hand to the hip, just to take it out of the equation for a second. Bend into the right knee. Right hand's going to go in front of that foot. You can adjust as we go, of course. Pop the back foot in. And then lift those toes away from the floor. Ideally, both legs are straight. That might not be your reality. You can turn and look toward the ceiling. You can extend that left arm toward the ceiling. One more big breath. And then back to warrior two. Oh, graceful like you meant it, right? Release the arms, straddle out the feet. Toes point forward, hands to the hips. Let's come on over into a little fold, little kind of resting idea, right? Let your upper body just kind of hang for a second. If you need the assistance of your hands, certainly use them. Otherwise, we're going to hinge back up and move to our second side. So the right toes are pulled in a little bit. Left toes toward the back of your mat. Bend into that knee. Check for your big toe. It might not be the same on this side, so check it out. Okay, arms extending. Shoulders are relaxed. Still nice and even on your feet. Let's bring the right hand to the back of the thigh, left palm toward the ceiling, shoulder toward the floor. Bumping up the intensity on this little back bend, if that's you. Back to the middle. And then bring it forward, left arm to the thigh, right arm to the ear, alongside the ear. See if you can get to triangle. Left leg straight, body open to the side. Lean on this left leg only if you need to lean on it. You can always take a block, right? We're going to move into that half moon, so bring the right hand to the hip, bend into the knee, left fingertips forward of the toes, hop in, and then lift. Ooh, maybe. Another nice big breath. And back to warrior two. Take the legs straight and come back to center again. Toes point forward. Hands back to the hips and over into our fold. Releasing the hands from the hips, bending into the knees if you need here. Let's take the index and middle fingers, wrap them around the big toes. Even on the four corners of the feet, the elbows are out to the sides. Legs straight, maybe. Maybe bending the elbows more, pulling on the toes a little, finding your stretch. Release the toes and take the fingers to the lower back. Pull the shoulder blades toward each other and stretch the knuckles away from the shoulders. Try not to lock your elbows. Keep pulling those shoulder blades together and stretching the arms away. Let's release the arms. Come into lunge on the right side here and step back to down dog. We'll go ahead and drop down to the knees and take child's pose for just a little intermission here. There we are. Perfect. All right. So let's move back to our down dog. And we're going to bring the right knee up behind the right wrist. Stretching the left leg long behind here. Keeping those toenails on the floor. You can turn your toes under and press through the heel if that is reasonable, right, for you, wherever you want to be. And you can stay here. Maybe the right knee can open to the right a little bit, and these left toes can creep forward toward the left hand. Maybe yes, maybe no. If it makes you rock over onto this right hip, forget it. Okay, coming back to a center, whatever that looks like with this left right knee. If this is way too much on your knees, you can turn over on your back and do the exact same thing. And then there's less pressure. So up on the hands, maybe down on the elbows, maybe extend the arms all the way out and rest your forehead on the floor or a block. Or your stacked fists. Yeah. And you'll find there's a place that you're squeezing together to keep your hips square, but then you're squeezing so tight that it keeps your hips higher than they have to be. Right? See if you can find the middle. The hips are so square, but you're not squeezing so tight that you can't get the benefit of the stretch. Take another big breath here. And make your way back to your hands. And back to your down dog. Same idea to the second side here. So left knee forward. Right knee down, reaching it back, toes under or flat to the floor. Either way. And then you adjust the left knee and the left toes, maybe. And just take your time with it. Right, we don't want to force anything, and this side can be completely different than the other side. And then dropping in with the upper body if you're adding that piece. Couple more breaths over here. And then making your way back up again. And back to our down dog. So let's drop down to the knees for an all fours position. And then here, take the right hand palm up and move it under. So the elbow to the middle of the mat, maybe, or the shoulder to the middle of the mat here. So make sure you're not leaning on your head. We want to be weight on the shoulder. You kind of want to be comfortable, of course, but not smashed up against the floor. So pressing more into the left hand, more into the right arm as your twist. See about stepping the left toes back and coming away from that leg entirely, lifting it toward the ceiling. Maybe the left hand lifts. Bend the left knee, and let's see if we can get a little quad stretch. Pointing the knee toward the ceiling, lifting your toes, balancing, breathing, all the fun things. Gently release what you got. Come on back to all fours. And take the second side. And sometimes you fall out of that and it's just fun. So second side, left hand. Again, whether you're on the elbow or down to the shoulder, you can add all those other pieces. Okay? Or the shoulder. Again, make sure you're not leaning on your head though. Right? Pressing into the arms to deepen the twist and keeping that. Or adding in the balance piece, adding in the quad stretch. And And then releasing this side. Coming back into that all fours. And down into your child's pose again. So we're going to come to sit up on the heels here. Remember, you can be propped up on a block. You can sit on your heels or between your heels, whatever works. We're not going to belabor this one too much, just a little shoulder stretch. So taking the right arm out, keep that arm straight and bring it across your chest. Bringing the left hand to the elbow, maybe just adding in a little extra pull. So your arm can be a little higher, right? Maybe a little above the shoulder even, or a little lower. Right? Find where you need that. Gently release that side. And then switch, bringing the left arm out and across the chest, helping the elbow come forward a bit. Adjusting the hands, right? If you need to. And then releasing that side, roll them out a little bit. If this is too much for your legs, just go ahead and sit on your bottom. We're going to be here for one more stretch. Bringing the right hand between the shoulder blades-ish, like to the back of your neck. Somewhere in that vicinity. Take the left hand and help the elbow point toward the ceiling as much as you can. So a nice big tricep stretch here. You can stay here if you'd like, but maybe we add that left hand sneaking behind the back, up the spine, and maybe your fingers will touch, and maybe they do not. Maybe someday, maybe never, whatever. If you really wanted to work on this stretch, if you feel like you really need to get a bigger stretch here than you can manage, you can hold maybe a strap and walk your hands closer together, kind of idea. A tie, a towel, anything you have will work. You don't have to get fancy. Let's release that side, roll the shoulders out a little bit, and then switch. So left hand between the shoulder blades-ish, elbow as much to the ceiling as you can manage, and then maybe adding the right arm. And they can be radically different. Gently release. Roll up those shoulders, and then we'll take the legs around in front and give them a little stretch. You can bounce the knees, wiper the feet, whatever feels good there. Let's go ahead and extend both legs. Sit well on your sit bones. And then we're going to bring the left foot into the inside of the right thigh-ish, right? So letting this knee fall open. If the foot needs to be a little closer to your ankle, don't worry about it wherever you are. Ideally, we want to keep the hips kind of square or in a hinge forward. So whether you grab your foot or not does not matter. Keep the shoulders together on your back. And we'll hinge back up. Go ahead and switch your feet. So the knee is relaxed and open. We're going to hinge over the left leg here. And hinge back up. Bring this left foot to meet the right foot. Hang on to your ankles. You can use your elbows at your inner hips here to gently press forward or down. Try not to just press on the knee. Try the inner hip. And then think belly button to heels. It's probably not going to touch. Hinging back up again. I'm going to turn so I can go back. Right. Keep the soles of the feet together. Keep hanging on to the ankles. And instead of coming forward, lean back and balance. Keep lifting the chest. Releasing the ankles without dropping your feet to the floor. Take your nice middle fingers and grab onto your big toes. See about extending your right leg. Bring it in. And then your left. Bring it in. And then both. Keep lifting your chest. Bring the legs together, straight or bent. And then let go. Hold balance. Hug the knees into the chest, tuck your chin, and roll on back. Knees to the chest, let's just let yourself rock. Side to side, up and down the spine, whatever. And then feet flat to the floor. Bringing the arms nice and tight down the sides of your body. Heels toward the hips, not quite touching. Feet hip bone distance apart. My mouth is not working so good. Arms can be bent or straight. You're going to press down into your triceps, pull your heels toward your hips, and just a gentle little lift of the hips away from the floor. You can get all fancy here, interlacing your fingers, propping a block underneath your pelvis. Otherwise, just a nice little stretch for the hip flexors, lower belly, head and neck. Stay comfortable. And then let's go ahead and gently release that. Take the arms out into a T position. And any variation of this final twist that you like here, right? So from just simply dropping the legs to the right, shifting your hips, taking your legs straight, crossing your knees, whatever makes you happy. Just relax your shoulders back. And you let the legs fall to the right. You can work through the stretch or you can just sink into it. We're going to take a couple more breaths over on this side. Gently bring it to center. And whatever you did on the first side, start that way at least on the second side. So letting your legs fall to the left. If after a moment you feel like you need to change this side up a little bit, feel free. We are not perfectly symmetrical. Sometimes you need something just a hair different. And just a couple more breaths over here. And then coming back to the middle. Once you're there, draw your knees back into your chest. You can rock a little bit just to kind of shake all that off. And then we're going to squeeze those knees in as tight as you can get. Put your forehead towards your knees. Give yourself a hug. Release it out into a full body stretch. And then release that stretch. Finding Shavasana. Whatever that's going to look like. And really focus on making yourself comfortable. So you want to feel aligned. And if you choose a seated position, maybe up against the wall. So you don't have to worry about your back sagging or whatever, or maybe up on, propping up on a block if that makes your hips more comfortable. Right? You don't want to have to be fussing through Shavasana. You want to let your body still, your mind quiet. Releasing the breath, but watching it. Just spend a few minutes being present. Begin to gently deepen the breath. You start with small movements to the body first, gradually moving and stretching. When you're ready, take the feet flat, roll to the side, and slowly make your way back to seated. We'll bring the palms to touch. Bowing your head to your heart. Namaste. So even when there's not a whole yoga, right, that part is pretty accessible pretty quickly, right? Thankfully. So this is Thanksgiving week, right? Coming up. I may do something Thanksgiving morning a little earlier, right? So if you're up and before you get cooking or traveling or whatever, take a peek over and see what we're doing, and maybe it's always nice to kind of just take a minute before the crazy stuff starts. And now that we've moved, it's not quite as crazy, but it's still the vibe. Right? All right, y'all. So wish me luck with these kitties, and I will see you next time. Thanks, guys.